When you have sex with someone of a lower vibration, you automatically assume that vibration. You don't get to stay in your vibration way up here. You go down to here. You go down to their vibration. Why is that? I don't know. I have no idea. I get a lot of people that ask for my help, and they've done the healing work. They're going through their spiritual awakening. They've forgiven people, but they just can't seem to raise their vibration. And when I do the deep dive, it always comes back to the same thing. And I hate this part, but I have to point out, well, look at your intimate partner. Your intimate partner doesn't even believe in God. Take a look at your intimate partner's Instagram page. I mean, they're involved in the reputation savagery that seems to be everybody's favorite pastime. You're never going to raise your vibration by having sex with someone of a lower vibration. The universal law there basically is you don't get to stay at your vibration up here. You got to come down to their vibration. I don't know why that is. We as humans, we always feel like, oh, this person's so unfortunate. I'm going to enlighten them. I'm going to raise their vibration. You can't even bring them up to your vibration. Therefore, you have to assume their vibration. I've heard countless hypnotherapy sessions. One person said, I was an incredible creator being, but I accumulated some karma, and that's why I had to incarnate here on earth. Well, why did you incur karma? I had sex. Well, just because you had sex means you incurred karma? Well, I had sex with someone of a lower vibration. And the hypnotherapist said, sex with someone of a lower vibration, that gets you karma? And that's when he explained it. No, you can't stay at your vibration if you have sex with someone of a lower vibration. You automatically come down to their vibrational level. You have no choice. So take a look at your intimate partner, man. When I think back on my first spiritual awakening in 2015, it didn't go well. It didn't take hold. And I blamed it on work. Work was out of control, busy. And then I blamed it on the 2016 election. You remember everybody was losing their minds about who they were voting for and things like that. But really, I look back at that period of my life after having a 20-year marriage and getting a divorce. For a decade, I had sex with lower vibrational people. And what we all need to understand is Carl Jung's theory that he's always saying, you have to recognize everything is within you. And if you have sex with someone of a lower vibration, why did you do that? I had every excuse in the book. They're morally bankrupt. They're easy. It's all good. Well, you have to recognize that that's within you, and that's a part of who you are. So in raising your vibration, you need to understand, the polarity, the light and the dark, the high vibration and low vibration, the yin and the yang. You have to understand that you're not going to stay in a high vibration by going with someone that's of a lower vibration, and not only having sex with them, but even really having them in your life. Now, you can't just cut every single person out of your life. You have to work with people. You have to, you have family members. I get it. But if you're going to have sex with them, make sure they're of the right vibration, because you will lower your vibration. I remember talking to a very talented psychic, and we were talking about, low vibrational people, and she said, oh, I can't stand that. I can't stand being around them. That's kind of why we all migrate to, spiritual communities and things like that, because, we can all talk to each other and we understand each other and we're of the same vibration. she said, you know, my boyfriend is one of those low vibers. And I said, oh, really? How so? Well, he doesn't even believe in God. He doesn't believe in any of the spiritual work that I do, nothing. And I thought, well, how could you be with someone who is of that vibration? Oh, well, I just keep my vibration really high, and, you know, I leave him way down low, way down at the lower vibrational level. I bit my tongue. I was proud of myself. I didn't say anything, but she's got it all wrong, man. You cannot, that's why she's stuck. Because her intimate partner is of that low vibration. It's just the way it works. I don't make the rules. But if you have sex with people of a lower vibration, you're going to automatically assume that vibration. I don't care who you are. Good luck.